So, with the announcement of Fizzy's newest project, not just a game inspired by Melee, but a game as mechanically similar to Melee as possible, while still avoiding the big N, it begs the question, what mechanics are going to make the proverbial life raft, and what should be left behind? Stuff like Fly Guys, Randall, Wispy, Z-axis jank, and even stadium transformations all raise an eyebrow, and they can all be discussed in a later video if y'all like this format, but I want to talk about one of Melee's most infamous mechanics, the Phantom Hit. And why do I want to talk about Phantom Hits first? I think it raises an issue not often talked about in Melee, simulated randomness. But first, let me explain what a Phantom Hit actually is, or rather, let me reference this great video from Minute Melee.
Phantom Hit occurs when a move's hitbox connects with the edge of a player's hurtbox, or put simply,
it's the tangent line.
So, okay, back to simulated randomness. What do I mean by that? Well, nothing about a Phantom Hit is truly random. It's not as if the game rolls a simulated die to determine if it's going to hit or not. 1,000 out of 1,000 times, the game state that would produce a Phantom Hit will produce a Phantom Hit. So doesn't that mean it's not random? Well, not really, right? Mewtwo did not mean to get a Phantom Hit here, and Mango, despite what he may claim, did not DI in any specific way to cause a Phantom Hit here. And actually, given 100 tries with $1 million on the line, I doubt either one of them could recreate this. So, from a gameplay perspective, Phantom Hits are essentially a random mechanic. But does that mean that we should remove them? Does that mean they're an inherently bad mechanic? Well, RNG is not only present in many other massively successful, incredibly enjoyable games, but it's a core part of their strategy. Take Pokemon VGC for example. Crits, misses, and flinches are a core part of what makes each set so exhilarating. Moreover, the presence of RNG in those games is a known factor, and while neither player can control whether or not a move will or will not crit, the crit is known, the mechanic is known, and it can be planned and mitigated for. Balancing the risk of a move critting versus the potential reward for it not critting, living and attacking back is a core part of any VGC strategy calculation. However, I don't think this reasoning holds up as well in Melee. Take this interaction from Mango and Mewtwo again. Sure, Mewtwo could have planned for the Phantom Hit and went for a more quote-unquote guaranteed follow-up, but when the risk of a Phantom Hit is 1 in, and I'm conservatively guessing here, 1,000, rather than a 10% chance like a crit in Pokemon, the smart player will just always plan for the move to hit, as 99.9% of the time, it will be the correct decision. But you're thinking, maybe the decision itself doesn't have to change, but the way that it's made does. Maybe Mewtwo could have waited a frame or two before doing this F-Smash. Maybe the tangent lines wouldn't have intersected, and then it wouldn't have been an issue. And personally, I always felt this way about Phantoms too, which is why I thought they were an interesting and somewhat fun mechanic. But that's not the whole story. Well, the problem is, earlier I kind of lied. When I mentioned that thing about the tangent lines, well, it's true, but tell me if you think this rest looks very quote-unquote tangent. Well, everyone knows about the tangent lines, but what very few people know about is Phantom Hit Hurtbox priority. Every character in Melee is a collection of little bubbles that make up their hurtbox, and each one of these little bubbles is assigned a certain level of priority. What that means is, even if the move fully connects with one little bubble, if it Phantom Hits a hurtbox bubble with a higher priority, the move will still Phantom. That's insane, right? And I didn't know about this for a long time, but want to know something even funnier? You see this little tuft of hair on Puff? Well, this is its own little hurtbox, and it has incredibly high priority. So if you Phantom Hit this little tuft, despite slicing straight through Puff, you might get a Phantom Hit. So yeah, there's just no planning for this mechanic. It's so uncommon and so unpredictable, players will play as if it's not a mechanic until it ends up totally changing the result of a match due to no fault of either player. But hey, maybe it's funny enough that we keep it anyway, and it's one of the little hiccups that makes the game as magical as we think it is, or hope that it is, despite the fact that it isn't. I don't know. It's at least funny, right? Either way, I hope you like this little breakdown. My life's been insane recently, so the uploads have been incredibly slow, but I'm hoping they're going to pick back up. If you liked it, please like, sub, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. See you in the next one.